I think a lot of us, certainly journalists, know of Otter AI because we use Otter AI to transcribe all of our interviews. And it seems like a pretty simple product and it works well. And, it does the transcription. And I think that business has become a little more popular now as speech to text has taken off. But what is the structure of Otter AI's business today? I mean, is it really just the, consumer subscriptions, enterprise subscriptions, transcription tool? Is that it?
Um, you're right. We are actually probably the first who created this category. Back in 2018, we launched our product with high accuracy, real-time transcription. However, as you mentioned, there are more competitors now. There are more meeting note takers. We have we have been moving beyond the just meeting transcription. I'm glad that you use Otter to transcribe your interviews, but once you have dozens or hundreds or thousands of meetings, especially in enterprises, if you think about any enterprise, they have sales team, marketing team, product, engineering. Every team has tons of meetings. Today, if they just use a simple note taker, all the notes are fragmented. They're isolated individual notes. What we're trying to do is actually connect all the dots. We're building a meeting-centric knowledge base for enterprises to get more productive.
Right. So now let's talk about the competition there. I'm curious as to how you think about your differentiation strategy because, as you said, transcription is getting more competitive, and the product that you just described, which is the meeting intelligence, drawing on thousands of meetings and conversations. I mean, this is something that I'm thinking of even all the customer support companies, customer support AI companies that, they're doing it themselves with their thousands and tens of thousands of conversations. So how do you think about standing out?
Yeah, we have a new philosophy or very different philosophy. We see that voice is becoming the primary interface for enterprise intelligence. If you think about it today, more and more documents, written documents, are being generated by AI now. We see that maybe in 12 months, you will never need to write anything. Well, reporters still need to write things, but for most people in enterprises, they will rarely write anything because voice is the primary interface. So they spend most of the time. They're already spending, most roles other than engineers who write code. Most roles are already spending most of the time in meetings using voice. And then, Google Document, Notion, any data in the database, CRM, everything will be written by AI. Um, so what we do is to optimize the voice communication and optimize the synthesis of information, connecting dots across multiple meetings, not just the one meeting, but all the meeting series. In your team, a lot of teams have recurring weekly meetings or bi-weekly meetings, and connect the dots between meetings. Between different departments, as I said, sales, marketing, product, engineering, design, um, to create this a meeting context layer. And we're also incorporating data from document, from email, from Slack messages. With all this, then we build the agentic workflow on top of that.
So
Um,
I'm with you, and I think that's a really compelling offering. I guess my question is again, why does Otter have a leg up here compared to, I don't know, why couldn't Salesforce do this? You mentioned Slack, you mentioned uh, all the other dozens of transcription tools. I mean, what is the moat here for your company?
Well, there's several modes. One is a data and user mode. You mentioned 25 million. Actually, we have that number has increased a lot. We have more than 35 million users now. We've been doing the longest. We have the biggest voice data set, hundreds of millions of hours of voice data. And then also, again, this product philosophy, I don't see most of the other players doing this, building a meeting-centric knowledge base. Most players still staying at the individual meeting note taker stage. Even Microsoft, Zoom, if you look at their product, I don't know if you use their product for meeting notes. Um, they just generate a basic meeting summary, meeting transcription summary, but without a cohesive system that organize hundreds of thousands of meeting notes that allow you to search, that allow you to create, that allow you to organized based on projects, based on teams. Um, so it just that product philosophy, we're way ahead of everyone. Not, most people haven't realized the power of that knowledge base yet.
So you got 35 million users. How big is the company now in terms of revenue?
We announced that we were over $100 million in ARR last year, but we are
That's when it was 25 million users.
yeah, yeah.
So
We're way higher than that. We haven't announced our latest revenue numbers yet, but
I want to
yeah.
I want to ask you a question about the underlying technology here. So, which models are you using in the background? What have you learned from all the different models that are coming out? And do you see, all the strength of all these models converging over time? Are you in that camp, or are you very much still fundamentally on the side of these models are going to duke it out for the next 3-4 years, and we have to pick the one that is best?
Um, for speech recognition and speaker recognition, there are two technologies. Speaker recognition is I'm sorry. Speech recognition is technology to transcribe the voice, and the speaker recognition is technology to um, separate multiple speakers in the same room and also identify the voice of each speaker. So we have proprietary technologies for both. This allows us to provide higher accuracy. For example, on Zoom, if everyone speaks in a quiet environment, um, the transcription is relatively easy. But once you have multiple people in the same room, if there are, AC running in the background, or if you're meeting someone, for reporters, you could meet someone at a restaurant or Starbucks with that background noise. Most companies' transcription will be really bad. We have this a special technology to handle the background noise.
And this is a model that you have built yourself that does this?
Yeah, we built this over the last 10 years. And secondly, the speaker recognition is really critical. On Zoom today, if you have 2 or 3 speakers in one room, Zoom cannot separate them. Zoom cannot identify who is who. We are able to separate them and identify the voice of each person. This is very critical because once you want to build agentic solutions on top of the meetings, you need to know who said what and who is taking on that action items, right? Whose point of view, people may have different opinions, different ideas. You need to attribute that idea to the right person. So this is why speaker recognition is so critical. So again, by building this in-house end-to-end technologies allow us to innovate a lot faster, allow us to provide higher quality, and also, we can operate with much lower cost. If you're just using a third-party API, you're going to pay a lot to access that API.
Last question for you. As you continue to build more and more under the hood, and you start to connect the context of all these different applications that you're talking about, how do you ensure privacy through all this? How do customers know that they have the same privacy standards that was the case 5-6 years ago, maybe, when there wasn't as much to it. It was just a more simple login, transcribe, play interface.
It's not so much different than most of the other cloud-based services, right? Google Document, Gmail, or Slack. All the data is stored on the cloud. We use a similar security models, encrypt the data. Um, but also for enterprises, we have created a lot of data retention mechanism. Enterprises can configure the system to remove audio, let's say after 3 days, or remove the transcript after 30 days, and just to keep the summary. And also, in terms of access, we have a very sophisticated access control system. You can specify, who have access to certain content. You can create, similar to Slack, you can create private channels so that only limited number of people can access certain meetings. So there's a suite of access control and security mechanisms, where we have SOC 2 Type 2 compliance, we have a HIPAA compliance. We passed the security review of a lot of the financial companies who have the most stringent security review system.
Great. Well, Sam, I want to thank you for coming on. That is Sam Liang, the co-founder and CEO of Otter AI, here on TI TV.